So today I'm making a Turnip 28 video. Welcome to my video on for my fodder unit of Turnip 28. I'm making a really revolting looking base here using some bicarb, 2 types of coffee, some clean cat litter, and a bit of that's it really basically, and obviously stuck together with some lovely PVA glue that I'm just showing you here. I don't know why I decided to show you that. And here are some of my finished bases. And here we have me cutting off the puddle base to this model. I hate puddle bases. I really don't know why a lot of games manufacturers are still making things on, putting things on models on minis on puddle bases. So I'm stripping it off here. I guess I could have glued it onto the base itself, but I find that annoying because the model looks a bit weird, although it would be more secure. So I'm cutting off the puddle base, ready to stick him onto the bases here. Now I made a bit of a mistake here, something that's worth learning. Make sure your base mix is properly dry before you stick your models in, because it's caused a bit of a problem with adhesing them, gluing them. Now the exact models I'm using for my fodder, I'll give you the information for that later because I've forgotten. There was basically some Perry and some Wargames Atlantic, I think. So here I am trimming off another model. This is line infantry model. You can see some of the other models behind here that are already completed. There's quite a heavily converted drummer model that I'll talk about later. And here are the sprues. I just thought I'd show you the sprues and me cutting away some stuff from the shoes. You can see this sprue is a Minutemen sprue. So I basically mixed 3 kind of kits to make these guys. And they've got great hats on the sprue that I must have been looking at this point of the video. And obviously these are some kind of Napoleonic era heads we've got here. You can see British Line Infantry. I can't read that. I need my glasses. Anyway, yeah, but basically the sprues were quite easy to cut things off from, but I didn't have a very good pair of pliers for the first lot I did, so I had to do a lot of cleanup afterwards. Oh yes, Wargames Atlantic, there we go. These are the Grenadiers, I think, yeah, with the nice sort of Grenadier helmets. I sped this bit up because you don't really want to watch me spend ages fiddling around with this in a not very well focused fashion. So anyway, cutting away some of the arms, cutting away the backpack there. I like the little backpacks with the sort of sabres on the back, which looks really good on the back of the Turnip 28 models. But yeah, overall, I think that these kits go quite well together. Perry, I sometimes find it's not really heroic, it's kind of true scale really, so some bits are a bit odd when they get put together, but mostly they're fine. I haven't really mixed and matched at all with these, but I am going to be obviously adding the face visors that are kind of typical Turnip 28. Here you can see a completed model, and there's a little model down there I'm thinking about using as a token, but I'll come to that in another video. So here we have the lovely detail of the hats. Look at them, just great. I love these Minutemen hats. And a little close-up there of one of the faces for the Napoleonic Line Infantry. Some of the details on these are a bit flat, so I've tried to kind of bulk them up a little bit on certain models because they just came out really flat looking, and I really hate that when you have models that those kind of flat details. And now we're going to be looking at one of the, oh yeah, there we go. That is kind of a kit bash where the line infantry has had a Minuteman hat added. Here's the complete unit. There we go, picking her up. So these are some Frostgrave. No, they're not Frostgrave. Sorry, not Frostgrave. I thought they were Frostgrave bits. Her head is a Frostgrave wizard. The arms are from a Deus Vult kit, and the body is, I think, a Grenadier. Top crafting tip from the last shot. You can use beer bottle or wine bottle wrapper as a very good, basically a very good replacement for cloaks or fabric. It works really well. Now we're having a look at some of my, I just thought I'd cut to something else for this part. These are some semi-completed chaff and brutes that I've made using a variety of bits there. Heads and stuff are already done, and I've started doing the painting on them, but not quite finished yet. But they will be soon. And this is me not doing a very well focused shot of me making the doing the modelling for the faces for my guys. Most of them I managed to get a face that I wanted in one go, but other guys basically needed an extra mask, which I will an extra addition to their mask or their face, their helmet, which I will show in another video. Yeah, I didn't do a very good job here of this shot. I'm really sorry. You can't see it so well. Super glue lid not put on my super glue as well. Real mess over my table. I'm not the most like well organized hobbyist really. I've got kind of stuff all over the place. Anyway, one thing I would recommend is basically taking a bit of plasticine and mixing it with your milliput, which is what I've used here. I think I might mention that already. Maybe I didn't. And you can get a bit more stretch out of it when you're using it. It does start to flake and get crummy after about an hour and a half. But what you can do is save the excess. Well, when you mix up too much, save the excess and put it in the freezer, and you can reactivate it with some alcohol afterwards. Some white spirit will do that for you. So I'm just using a cocktail stick here, which is actually my favorite sculpting tool. I just put a little bit of Vaseline on it to make it a bit easier to not dislodge things. This guy ended up with a kind of a Kermit the Frog kind of face, if I remember. And I'm quite happy with how his face looks. We'll have a closer look at him in another video, or the completed unit in another video, because this unit of fodder is probably going to be at least two videos long, I think. So yeah, to be honest, well, I'm not a great sculptor, and I've tried to kind of keep my sculpts kind of varied and based on my own kind of spontaneous decision around what I want the model to look like, rather than that consistent. As the unit's a bit of a bunch of mongrels anyway, with different kits involved. And yeah, so that is him virtually done. Something else you can do is you can take a little bit of white spirit, and you can use it to kind of smooth out details on green stuff or milliput, and it will take away thumbprints quite nicely. The only thing is, obviously, with white spirit, you really want to like ventilate where you are a bit, because it is quite toxic if you use it over a long period of time, apparently. So it's best to use it in a well-ventilated room or outside, or wear some kind of mask or ventilator, I guess. Respirator. Ventilator's slightly different, but yeah. And you should essentially, you should be careful, because it is long-term use of it is a bit toxic, apparently, for your body. I bet that as hobbyists, we know most of the stuff we work with is a bit toxic. Green stuff is not exactly the most wonderful thing to be using, nor is milliput, nor is white spirit, nor is resin. It's all a bit evil, to be honest. And here we have a completed guy. I'm really happy with this dude. I basically stuck a piece of sprue on his face as a kind of a beaky nose, and then made these kind of weird masks, for the rest of his face. And this is the first version of my unit, not completely finished yet. But as you can see, I've got some nice face sculpts. And yeah, they're going to be looking good. And here we have a few little bits of sort of blades of grass I've stuck onto their bases using old toothbrush bristles, and some tufts, which I think are Green Stuff World tufts. So there we go, part 1 done.